Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. It's time to go around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. Well, yes, we had a little bit of a shorter week due to the holidays. It's okay because we still have a few interesting stories, mostly from the American Express camp and one from Citi. So we'll talk about American Express and a new card partnership. We'll talk about some changes to Delta Sky Clubs, some changes to American Express applications, and we'll close with Citi potentially re-entering the higher tier credit card market. So of course, that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now we'll lead off with American Express. That'll be the first few stories. So first up is American Express and Square. So if you're unfamiliar, Square is kind of like a payment processor type deal. So if you've been to a smaller business, they'll flip around the iPad or have the little dongle attachment for their phone, and that's kind of how you'll pay with your credit card. So they help small business process credit card payments. So Square is now going to partner with American Express to launch a new business card. So we don't have a ton of details on this yet, but here's what we do know so far. So this will be Square's first credit card. Now again, as Square is targeted at small businesses, this will be a business card and of course integrated directly into Square's ecosystem. Issued by Celtic Bank or Celtic Bank, depending on how you want to name it. And then there of course will be more details next year. Now we do love a good media quote. So as champions of small businesses, our brands will offer a credit card product specifically designed for Square sellers, backed by the trust and security of the American Express network. Now, overall, again, I don't think this card is probably going to be necessarily that noteworthy. I think it's more interesting that we kind of see American Express branching out their payment network services. Maybe a few months ago, we had the announcement that they were going to partner American Express and Cardless to get some cardless credit cards onto Amex's network. So historically, Amex has let others use their payment network, but it's really been sparing. Obviously, Visa and MasterCard dominate that space. So I think that's an interesting play, especially as we continue to watch payment credit card processing fees and payment network fees become a hot topic of debate between big box retailers and the government, the processors, and everyone. So, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express, they're normally set at Visa and MasterCard to kind of own the payment processing space. So to see American Express branch out is a little interesting there. Now again, having more cards in the market always a good thing. If I had to guess, I don't think this one will be one that many people are interested in, besides, the folks already using Square and who will want like a legit business card that makes life easier. But of course, I will keep an eye on that for early next year. Now, sticking with the American Express train, we are following up on a story where earlier in the year, American Express was kind of testing, I think it was more like A/B testing, depending on what card you landed on or where you were at, what web page you're on, that basically giving users or potential applicants soft approvals on cards, meaning that like, hey, you could go in, you could plug in your information but not press submit, and you could get right there, say Amex would basically return to you if you were going to be approved or not. And people like those soft pulls at first, because again, one of the biggest questions I get on cards is, people asking what are my approval odds based on credit score and this, that, and the other. Well, now it looks like American Express is kind of rolling this out officially, so let's take a look at this directly from their announcement. So there are three main points here. Consumers who are interested in applying for a U.S. personal card obviously go to their website to see card offers. Upon applying for a chosen card, a soft inquiry will be made on an applicant's credit report, and they will be told with a 100% certainty if they will be approved without impacting your score. And then if the approved applicant actually goes ahead and accepts the offer, then a hard pull will be performed. So, of course, that is the thing to keep in mind. Two important points there. One, they're saying you'll get a soft pull with 100% certainty. So, again, obviously, if you get denied, then you're not going to go forth and do it. But if you do accept the offer, then they're still going to do a hard pull anyways, which is a little bit interesting. I don't know if I would assume it has something to do with the underwriting rules and risk management on Amex's side. Still, just their policy requiring a hard credit pull. But if they know enough that you're going to be approved with a soft pull, then I don't necessarily know why they need to do the hard pull. It's possible that's how they determine how much credit limit they're going to give you. I'm not really sure on that. It's a little bit weird. But overall, I do think this is a nice feature because, again, one of the sticking points for a lot of folks out there is approval odds and concern, right? And I do think a lot of issuers could make the approval process a lot better, the application process a lot better, by, doing kind of what Capital One does and giving a range. No one's ever going to tell you the exact credit score because they don't want to deter you, too much. But again, good, fair credit, something like that. And also telling you what credit agency they pull from would also be helpful for those who have their credit frozen as well, so they know which one to quickly unlock and then relock afterwards. So overall, I think this is a good thing. I think it will be rolling out to the co-branded partners, so the Deltas and the Hiltons over time. So if you're applying from their site as well, you could see the same thing. So overall, pretty good. I do think they should expand it more. All card issuers should be doing this overall to kind of make their jobs easier, lives easier overall. So there's that. Now let's take a look at the final. It's not necessarily an Amex story. It is a Delta story, but kind of has Amex tie-ins. So the war on airport lounges and overcrowding continues, this time with Delta Sky Club. So earlier in the year, I think Delta was kind of testing out a priority order to get into their lounges, right? So based on the status that you had with them, that kind of gave you two lines, and one was priority, one was regular people line. So looks like this is now official and rolling out to other Sky Clubs. Let's take a look at this, see what you can expect next time you're trying to get into the lounge. And so like we said, there'll be two lines. Now, I don't know what they're calling the lines. I think one is they're just using like Sky Priority, kind of like their priority boarding name. But the priority travels are going to be Delta 1, Delta 360 status, Delta Diamond Medallion status, and then first class tickets. Now, I don't think first class necessarily gets you into the lounge, but if you were first class and you had, a lounge membership or a platinum card or something like that, that would put you in the priority queue as well. Now, overall, you can see what's missing from here is Delta Platinum card, and then even the Delta Reserve, the two Amex cards that get you into the lounge. Now, for the most part, Delta lounges, they're okay because, at least in their major airports, they tend to have multiples, which is helpful. But, overcrowding is still a big deal when you talk about their hub, so a lot of people are going to have status, or a lot of people have the Platinum or the Delta Reserve. So this kind of makes sense to a degree to get people in there faster, or, sometimes if there's a wait or something like that. Now, it does kind of suck and kind of show, I guess, their opinion on the where they rank platinum card holders, right? It sucks for those folks who are still paying $700. It also sucks for people who outright buy a Delta Sky Club membership, because you can buy them outright for like $700-800. It's actually pretty expensive, but you can do it, and they're not on the list either. So we can clearly see Delta is, preferring folks who have status with them, who are always using them, always flying them, and ideally always spending money. So I do think it's a bit of a bummer given, what the platinum card costs, what the regular memberships cost. But again, at least now you know where you stand. So let me know what you think about that and the priority order for that, and how it's going to affect you and your thoughts on Delta. But now we're going to move to our last story, which is the one that I find most interesting, and that is Citibank potentially re-entering the higher tier credit card market. Now, again, we're getting this tip or these insights from the classic OG Ask Sebi, who put out a full video about this. But of course, we're going to weigh in and give some thoughts as well. So what he basically found was he was on one of the trademarking sites and figured out that Citi actually put in a trademark for basically what we assume is a new credit card name. So if you take a look at this, this is what we have, the Citi Strata Elite. So again, the trademark information. And you can see it's for processing the sale of credit card accounts. So I'll leave it up for a minute. You can kind of read through it. But the interesting part here is, again, we haven't seen an elite Citi card since the Citi Prestige was retired. And really, if you remember, if you've been playing this game for long enough, then there's basically two forms of the Prestige. There was the original Prestige that people loved. It was an actual MasterCard World Elite. It had that unlimited fourth night free booking hotels, which your consultants and your road warriors love, which is a really unprecedented perk. It had really good travel insurance, like pre-Sapphire Reserve stuff, so much so that like people would root for trip delays and things like that, because I think it was like 2 or 3 hours and you could start recouping some of the benefits there. So we haven't really seen anything from Citi since then. They nerfed it, and then like the fee or the room booking, the hotel fourth night free was like limited to like twice a year, I think, which is still not terrible. But again, a lot of the World Elite benefits got nerfed as well, a lot of the insurance benefits. So basically, I think the hardcore people kind of scared Citi into nerfing it, and then you were just really left with the folks who didn't, take full advantage of that. Now, I think we've widely thought that Citi eventually one day would return to the higher tier market. It just makes sense. I mean, Citi is known for liking higher net worth individuals. A lot of their bank bonuses that we talk about have high dollar amounts. So they want something to cross-sell to folks. It makes a lot of sense. Even Bank of America has a higher tier card, even though it's not very good. So, again, it's just a trademark filing right now. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it's generally a good indicator. I think even Capital One and the Venture X, that was found through the trademark site as well. So, overall, what do I think Citi should do with this? I would guess that it'll end up being some kind of like travel lifestyle hybrid type of card, so it still makes it beneficial for folks who aren't necessarily traveling. Now, I do think their the differentiator would be to hopefully bring American back as a transfer partner, then even add Admirals Club to whatever card they're coming out with, because it's actually really hard to get Admirals Club aside from the one Citi Advantage American Airlines executive card that they have now. So I think it will probably rival in price somewhere in between the Sapphire Reserve and the Platinum, because again, but when the Prestige went away, the Platinum was still $550. Amex has kind of raised the bar a little bit, so why not? You can at least charge $550 for it. I think that's what they'll do. No, I think it'll be in between $550 and $695. I think that's what they'll do. Again, I think it'll be more lifestyle focused. Leaning travel, but again, Citi in my opinion, has to do a lot to get me back thinking they are about travel, because again, they don't really offer those travel benefits, and their travel portal doesn't really offer any extra punch like a Chase portal does. So they probably have to have some kind of tie-ins between booking through their portal. I believe they were actually supposed to be revamping their travel portal. Maybe we talked about that about a month ago. So if that does happen, then I do think they'll have some stronger tie-ins. We'll probably see elevated multipliers. I would love to see if you got an elevated redemption when you're going through the portal, like a 1.25 or 1.5, something like that. The thing that just concerns me the most is it's Citi, and if you watch this show a lot, then Citi is the issue I want to be really good, because I think they have the capacity to be really good, but for whatever reason, they just do Citi things, and then it's always not good. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but of course, let me know what you hope to see in this potential new Citi Strata card down below. And so we'll close on a quick reminder. So if you watched last week, then our friends over at Sleek are running a promotion. So we have a full video that I can link down below for you. But again, this is not sponsored, but I do have an affiliate link. So if you're interested, through Cyber Monday, so just a day and a half or so to take advantage. Basically, if you sign up for Sleek, I'll put it on screen for you. It's a shopping portal. So new customers will get $5 if they use that affiliate link. You link a card and then make a purchase. So in addition to that, you're going to get 2% back on all your purchases using their shopping portal. Now, new and existing customers, you can receive $5 per transaction when using Sleek's Fast Checkout. That's going to be again valid through Cyber Monday, which is the 28th. $25 limit or 5 transactions. Basically, gift cards do not count. So again, I'll link the full video we did about them originally, so you can see some kind of card combinations you might want to take a look at. But again, I think it's a pretty good deal, so that's why I mentioned it. So affiliate link will be down below, as well as that video as well. But anyways, guys, that has been the news for this week. So if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. Of course, you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Again, posting content just like this every week and right back here on Sundays with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. Again, let me know down below what other stories have you seen on this short week. What do you think about the Sky Club changes, the Amex changes, or potentially this Citi card? Love to get your thoughts on that. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and talk to you very soon in the next one.